Welcome to Martha Runs the World, a podcast with a new take on running, fitness, and all things health-oriented. I'm Martha Hughes, your host, and each week I present a new topic that is of interest to all runners. Hi, and welcome to episode 296 of Martha Runs the World. How are you this week? I'm doing pretty good. Before I get into this week's episode, I wanted to first mention a not great experience that happened with me with a running product company that I have always loved. And it kind of makes me sad, too. August through early October is probably the worst time to buy running gear. I realize that. And I never thought about that before either. But the running gear companies are ready to release their new stuff for Christmas and the new year, and they're short of their inventory from this year. Well, that doesn't matter if you need new stuff and you need new stuff now, and I really need a new running vest. So I my Ultimate Direction vest is ready to bite the dust anytime. So I really needed a new running vest. I don't really think it can wait, but it's going to have to now. So I went to buy a new running vest at the Ultimate Direction website. So I purchased it and I got my confirmation email, and I didn't hear anything for days, for like a whole week. Nothing about it. We don't have it. It's being shipped. Nothing at all. I mean, in a week, you expect to hear something, right? Well, after a few days after, more than a week, like maybe 9 days, I got an email saying that their system was down and they were out of the vest that I wanted and that I would get a refund. Well, I had already gotten the money deposited back in my account, so I knew I wasn't going to get it. But you would think that even though the system was down and that my money was back in my account, they could have sent me an email sooner. I mean, come on. Every company has emergency manual ways of doing things if their system is down. That's just bad customer service. So when I do go to eventually buy a new running vest, I probably will not buy Ultimate Direction because of that. That's just poor customer service and poor inventory management, in my opinion. They could have done a much better job of that. And I guess I'm going to be wearing my vest for a while until it falls apart. I'm going to be out there on the road or trail, and it's just going to literally fall apart on me. I just know it. But it can't be helped. So I will probably buy another one. I don't know which one, which brand, but yeah, not Ultimate Direction. I love you guys, or I have loved you, but yeah, that's just not good in my opinion. All right, maybe that should have been part of this episode today, but I just thought I'd share that with you. I work in customer service. My job is customer service. My job is to help the customer as best as I can. And I think that is really, really poor job by them, by a company that I love, that has always been good to me. And no, that is not good. That is a job of how not to handle a situation. All right. So stuff we don't like to talk about. Part 2. I did an episode of this earlier, almost probably 2 years ago. So I thought I'd follow it up with more things that we runners don't like to talk about. And some of the things we do talk about, but we don't maybe like to talk about, that once we get started, we will talk about, but maybe we don't bring up. Maybe we don't say, how about this? And maybe it's not politically correct to talk about, that kind of thing. So that's why I thought I'd bring it up, because there are more topics about it, and I want to reiterate a couple I've already talked about. So I thought there was more going on this. So I thought that, yeah, it deserves a second part. And it's always fun too. Yeah, there are a couple serious things in there, but it's lighthearted. I don't think it has to be so serious, and I don't think every episode has to be serious. So I thought I would continue it. Now, I'm going to do it in 3 sections. The first part is road running. The second part is trail running. And the third part is things that all types do, that both types do, I should say. So we'll do it that way. All right, first we're going to do road running. Are there places on your road runs, on your runs on the road, obviously, that you like to do, especially early Saturday and Sunday mornings, specifically that you like to run because of the wild nights before that you might find fun things on the road? What I mean is that, do you run places where there are lots of partying, lots of bars on the street that you might find things on the road left over because of the partying? I do, actually. There is one street in San Francisco that I love to run on Saturday and Sunday mornings because there are a lot of drunks there the night before, and they leave not gross things. Okay, leave that out. But they tend to leave interesting things on the street from the night before. Like I said, not disgusting things, but interesting things. Like, I found stuff on the street the night before, like bras. Oh yeah. Underwear, plastic cups, strange things, party hats, like if it's St. Patrick's Day, a leprechaun hat or noisemakers, that kind of thing. And I found leftover money. Oh yeah, I found money. I found that kind of things. Feather boas, all that kind of thing from that street. Union Street is in the Marina District, and the Marina District is home to a lot of younger people in their 20s who are just out of college. They tend to live there, and they tend to party there, and they're big time partiers, and they always have been since I remember. Since the 80s, maybe the 70s, they tend to live there, and and since it's an expensive neighborhood, they live with lots of roommates, and they go out and party there. Big time partiers. Chances are they were in fraternities and sororities, and they just gather there and just party their butts off. So yeah, Union Street is a great place for that. Now, you can find weird stuff on trails, but sometimes littering on trails is kind of sad and not a happy thing so much. So it isn't really the same thing on trails. Okay, on road running, the difference between runners and joggers. Yeah, I don't like to be called a jogger. I know people these days don't seem like it's a big deal, but if you're an old-time runner, you don't really like to be called a jogger. So yeah, you can always tell the difference between a runner and a jogger, because this is an old joke, because joggers are the ones who run in place and jump up and down at traffic lights, and runners stand there looking pissed off. Okay, that's the old joke. Now, a few seconds waiting at a light, standing still, isn't going to kill you. You're not in the Olympics. And speaking of the Olympics, okay, you might be irritated by this next one, but I found this to be true. I love the Paris Olympics, especially the track events. However, one negative aspect to come out of the Olympics was that some regular runners happened to think that they could wear the same fashions in the same size as the elite runners. Now, I'm not fat shaming anyone. I don't care how heavy, how tall, how short, how old you are. I don't care. This has nothing to do with weight. It has everything to do with wearing the proper size. That's why I say that some runners think they can wear the same fashion in the same size as the Olympic runners. The key is to wear the proper fit. If you want to wear the fashions that the elite runners wear, I think they're totally cute, and I have nothing against that. But for goodness sakes, wear the size that's appropriate for you. Don't wear the short size that's 2 sizes too small, where half of you is hanging out. No. That can't be comfortable. That cannot be comfortable. And the thing is that you are not going to have a good time when you're going out running. You're going to chafe. You're going to spend half your time tucking yourself in. It's not a good thing. This is not good. You want to wear appropriate sized running clothing. And they have clothes in all different sizes. Most outfitters do. And if they don't, shame on you. Make lots and lots of sizes available. Runners come in all sizes, and if you don't have all sizes available and you're a clothing manufacturer, you need to. That's what I'm saying. What I'm talking about has nothing to do with weight or proportions. It's talking about wearing proper fitting. I saw this female runner and she was wearing these shorts that were 3 sizes too small for her, and if she had wore the proper size shorts, it would have looked amazing. It really, really would have. Instead, it just looked uncomfortable, and it was just kind of sad. It was like, no, 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 no. You're tall. Wear something that really, really would fit you well, and it would be awesome. It would be really, really awesome. Not everybody can be a size 2. I'm sorry. No, 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 no. If they were too long, if they were 2 and an L, 2L, yeah, but no, that wasn't. Maybe that was 2S. I don't know. Or 2P, too petite, but wasn't her size. Wear appropriate sizes. There's no shame in being bigger. Some of us are bigger. That's just how it is. But just wear appropriate size. Now, that is all I have for road. Now, let's get to trail. Trail running has its own issues, all right? It's a different sport entirely, obviously. Okay, one of the things that maybe you don't want to admit or talk about is the fear of other living things on the trail. It's pretty common to have a fear of snakes and other creepy crawlers. So that's, I love snakes. I may not want to see a rattlesnake on the trail. I don't listen to music on the trail, so I can hear the rattle ahead of time. And if you listen to music, make sure you're only listening to one earbud, or you have the type of listening devices that are outside of your ear. Don't listen to earbuds inside your ear, because you're never going to hear the rattle. You want to hear that rattle. Trust me. Do you know some runners have fear of birds? And yes, some runners have fear of rabbits. It's not just a character on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Anya, who has a fear of rabbits. Yes, it is a real thing. It's called leporophobia, and it apparently has a long history. It's very rare, but it does happen. It's probably a good idea to have your eyes open and your ears aware of things if you are afraid of little furry critters, cute furry critters. But it does happen. It's probably not something you want to talk about openly either. It's funny, too, because people talk about being afraid of mountain lions and bears, but it's those little cute critters that really scare us, isn't it? I mentioned this already in the first episode, but it deserves repeating. Always be prepared in case you have to go, if you know what I mean. You never know if today is the day your stomach is going to behave badly. And as we get older, it doesn't get any better. That's why going commando is not the best idea on the trail, especially. I see these youngins who think, oh, I don't wear anything. I just wear my shorts, or I just wear my leggings. Well, that's fine if you're 25 and you've never had stomach problems in your life, but just wait till you're 45 or 55. It's going to happen. And you don't even have to eat anything that disagrees with you. One day, your stomach is just going to say, I don't feel like behaving today. And it'll happen. That's just what it's like. Yes, that is just exactly what it's like. It doesn't take food that disagrees with you for it to happen. Now, guys, you may want to tune out for a minute or two. If it doesn't bother you, that's fine. If womanly things bother you, okay, then you want to tune out. But if not, all right, you'll be here. For female runners, if it is that time of the month, you want to, of course, take precautions. And you might want to take extra pad with you or an extra Tampax with you. And you would just want to make sure and be prepared. And also take something to bring it back with you if you have a Ziploc bag or something, if you don't have anywhere to stash it or something like that, and maybe a paper towel to wrap it in or something like that. You want to make sure and bring it out with you. You don't want to leave it anywhere because that's just disgusting and icky and bad behavior. So you want to make sure and be prepared. Always be prepared. When you're out on the trail, we don't litter. We don't want to do that. So just be prepared for that. Okay, I haven't had a menstrual cycle for years, but I still remember it. I mean, you don't forget that stuff, right? That stuff is part of our lives, and it's something that we need to be aware of and to plan for. Even though I haven't had a cycle for a long time, I still find that wearing a pad during my long trail runs really helps in case something may happen or in case my stomach acts up. And I'm not ashamed to say that because it can be a lifesaver. Sometimes I have stomach issues and it just happens and I can't help that. That's just part of life. And so I haven't had any for a long time. My diet is better, so it hasn't really happened, but sometimes it can. I just find that wearing one really, really helps in case it does happen, especially when like I'm traveling and I have no choice about where I eat. Restaurant food is harsh and my stomach sometimes doesn't agree with it. But anyway, so that is what I do. Of course, watching my diet and watching what I eat is always the best course of action. Now you guys can come back. The rest of the topics can apply to road and trail. Now, ladies, this is your time. If you don't want to hear this, you can leave. You can tune out for a minute. But if it doesn't bother you, that's fine. But this is for the guys. Now, of course, guys, I'm not a guy, obviously, but I do work in urgent care. So I've heard probably every story there is about in the medical world. So nothing phases me. And so don't worry about this. We're going to talk about bloody nipples. Now, like I said, I'm not a guy. So nothing, like I said, nothing phases me. And I am good at handling discrete information, let me tell you. I've heard it all. There are different things you can do to prevent bloody nipples. You can avoid cotton, obviously, and we all know that one. I mean, you should know that if you're a runner. Cotton is the enemy in all shapes and forms while you're running. Body Glide or petroleum jelly is good. Waterproof tape or Band-Aids. And if you have pierced nipples, please remove that jewelry before you run. And you probably know that already, being the amazing runner that you are. And now, ladies, you can tune back in if that kind of thing bothered you. But you know, we're all friends. We're all running together, and we probably share these stories. That's the funny thing. If you're running in a group and you run together, you probably share all these stories. That the theme of this episode, or the title of this episode, if it was a long title, would be things we don't like to talk about unless we run in a group together. But that's a little bit of a long title, don't you think? Now, here's some other things that we do that maybe we don't talk about with others unless we're running together. Talking out loud to yourself on runs. Yeah, that's something that I do a lot of. And then I realize that there's other people around and they look at me rather weirdly. I do talk to myself out loud. I find that I do this a lot when the run gets really tough. When I want to quit and I want to stop early, I find myself talking a lot to myself. I think it helps because whenever I do it, I keep going. So it's like you have the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other, and let's quit. Let's quit. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go to the store and get something. And the angel says, no, you have to keep going. Keep going. No, don't quit. You're almost there. Come on, you can do it. And the other one's going, nah, let's go get something to eat. Let's go. So it's like this battle. And it is like the cartoon. I swear to God, it really is just like that cartoon. And so I guess it's helped because every time I talk to myself, or almost every time, I keep going. So do you talk to yourself like that? Or am I just going crazy? Watching someone throw a tantrum during a race. Or maybe we were the ones throwing a tantrum. I haven't really thrown a tantrum, so to speak, but I did get upset once because I really, really needed a bathroom, and I was at a trail race, and there wasn't one around, and I had to wait 5 miles to get to the next aid station where there was a bathroom, and I almost didn't make it. Oh my God, that was harsh. That was really, really harsh. That was a race where that was my one DNF. And yes, that was when I had stomach problems. That was the worst race I've ever done. I had so many problems. Everything went wrong at that race. I was chased by yellow jackets. I had stomach problems. I lost my 2 big toenails. Oh my gosh, that was awful, awful race. Oh, it was just a terrible, terrible race. But yeah, that I was really upset. But yeah. Yeah, that was a bad race. I also witnessed a woman throwing a tantrum at a timed race, and she got really, really mad, and she took it out at one of the race directors, and she shouldn't have. I mean, it's a timed race. You're not getting a world record here. I mean, there was no reason for her to be mean to one of the race directors. That was just stupid. And I watched that, and that was like some of the worst behavior I've ever seen at a race. And it was just embarrassingly bad. And afterwards, I said to the race directors, I said, I'm sorry she treated you so badly. It was embarrassing to watch. It was, I mean, whatever it was, there was no reason for her to take it out on the race director, just this yelling that she did. It was just embarrassing to witness, and I felt really bad. I don't care what it was for. There was no reason for it. So I did see that. It's not the end of the world. Don't be a jerk. Forgetting to restart after pressing pause on your watch. And yes, I confess I've done that. It's embarrassing. Yep, haven't we all done that? It's like, oh, really? Really? Oh, yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, and it's a fact. We've all done that. Race photos. Haven't we all had horribly embarrassing race photos? I rarely even see the race photographer ahead of time. I get so involved in my running and the race that I never see them until it's too late. And then it's like, oh, come on. So I don't get these people who are able to spot the photographer way ahead of time and make these glorious shots. It's like, nope, that's not me. So once in a while, I'll have a good race photo, once in a while, but not usually. And, couple other things to go. Chafing. Yeah, chafing. You know, have you ever had a running shirt that you've worn on a short 3 or 4 miles and it just feels good? And then you wear it on a 10-miler and it just chafes the heck out of you. Oh my gosh. I had that happen last week. This shirt I love to wear at the gym or to wear like on a 3-miler, and it feels great. And then I tried wearing it on a long run and it just started chafing me right under the arm. And it was like, oh my God, it hurts. Yeah, it was bad. So that was fun. Yeah, I'd never wear that shirt on a run ever again. Never again. And let me round this off with everyone's favorite, muscle cramps. Yes, those happen. Sometimes it happens from lack of electrolytes, but most of the time it's because we push ourselves farther than our body wants us to. Now, I find the best cure for muscle cramps is CBD gel. It gets rid of them instantly. I swear, if you don't have some roll-on CBD gel around, you need to get some. Muscle cramps will snap. They will go away instantly through CBD, from CBD gel. It is like the best stuff ever for muscle cramps. And yeah, especially when it's hot, the electrolytes help, but the CBD gel, boom, they're gone. If you have a hard race and you're trying to, the night after you're trying to sleep and you get muscle cramps, have that roll-on stuff next to your bed and boom, they are gone. It works really, really well. And it's hard to talk to. I mean, you don't want to tell everybody, God, I had muscle cramps all night last night. You don't want to talk about that. Kind of embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, it is kind of. All right, those are just a few more things that we really don't like to talk about. I mean, there are things that we do like to talk about, but there's some things we don't. There probably will be a part 3 of this in a couple of years. I'll think of some more stuff because it's fun. I mean, these things are fun. Yeah, we may not like to bring it up. We may not like to talk about it, but once we do, we can't stop. Oh, Oh, well, I've had my own problems over the weekend here. I've been dealing with some migraine issues. I don't really get the headaches. I get vertigo, which is really fun. Yeah, very, very fun. I had to go home from work early Friday because of vertigo. Not fun. Very not fun. And I had to work all weekend, and I had to decrease my coffee consumption, which coffee is I love coffee, but I can only have like 1 cup of coffee a day anymore. I was drinking 2 cups, which is probably too much, so I had to decrease it to 1. So we'll see if that helps. And that's one of my triggers, unfortunately. The best beverage in the world, and I can only have 1 cup. Oh, well, it is life, isn't it? Okay, but this week I'm going to get lots of running in. I have my last long run next Saturday before my race. Is it my last long run next? Yeah, my last long run next Saturday before my race. My longest run, I should say, before my race. And yeah, I'm going to get that done. But that is it for this show. I'm rambling now. The website is martharunstheworld.com. My email is martharunstheworld@gmail.com. So go to the website and help out if you can. Become a Patreon patron. I actually have some guests coming up soon. A very special guest in the next few weeks. You're going to love them. And some really cool shows. So yeah, stay tuned. And I hope you have a great running week. And on that note, let's tie up our shoelaces and go for a run.